It's an attack.
It's not an attack.
That's
it's
how it
just...
feels like. I don't think you've given me a chance to impress you. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress Laura. Judgmental. Very judgmental.
I feel like I've seen enough, to be honest.
Okay, bye.
I am here for Arthur, reading for filth Laura's friends, because how dare they continue to speak to him and be patronizing, derogatory, what other word could I use? I don't know. The way they belittled him, it's unacceptable. And I give him credit for standing up for himself, because Laura kept apologizing and sort of trying to create this bridge instead of telling them that no, these are the boundaries. You will not cross over because this is my husband. At the end of the day, you still need to respect him irregardless of how you feel. If you have an opinion that you feel might offend him, or if you have anything you want to say that you feel might hurt his feelings, let me know first and I'll tell you yes or no. And so for him to put them back in their box and tie them up and leave them on the table was amazing to see. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 8, Episode 28. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. We want to get to 1,000 subs. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. So it's Homestays this week, and oh my god, the drama. Trouble in Paradise continues, and Rose and Thomas, oh my god, I see why I put them in my top 3 list at the start. Anyway, Erica and Jordan. Now the cracks are showing, because now they know that they can't comment on other people's relationships. They're having to focus on themselves, and in focusing on themselves, they've realized that maybe we're not as compatible as we thought. When our attention was diverted to something else, we were okay, but now that we're looking at ourselves, we're not, And for Jordan to say, what's the time difference? It's like, Jordan, come on. At times, just shh. You don't always need to speak. And you can see Erica is infuriated. She's burning hot. She's looking for anything and everything to set him on fire. And I'm surprised there's crickets and no one is calling her out for the way she speaks to him or the way she treats him, even when they don't agree. I'm surprised nobody has said something thus far, because the past 2-3 episodes she hasn't been the best. And so it's surprising that, especially after the dinner party, I really didn't hear anyone criticize her. I can only imagine what would have happened had someone like Portia or someone like Tasha responded to their spouse like that. But anyway, I digress. Rose and Thomas, they're enjoying themselves in their bedroom. They have this sense of freedom that I don't know. So it seems Thomas also lives with his mum. So they go to see his bedroom, and Ross is already thinking of ideas. But it's like they're, across the hallway from each other. They shouldn't be able to hear each other unless they're screaming and shouting. Ross is worried about, how are we going to have sex with your mum here? We might need to give her some antihistamine so that she can go to sleep. And it's just like, oh my God, these two, what are they getting up to? Thomas, brings out his shark outfit, and Ross discovers that Thomas has condoms, and it's just like, I like how cutesy they are, how relaxed they are from where they started. Oh my God, I wish everyone who went on Married at First Sight, any country, any season, would learn from them. They would find their soulmate in this experiment. Ella took JJ to her grandma. And she's talking about, we don't talk about the other guy. I understand. Okay, their exes, it didn't end well. But I somehow get the idea that Ella's playing a character, in the sense that the way she makes it seem like she's her grandma's carer and she does everything for her grandma, and, she's this loving. She could be, but I think there's more to this picture than what we're actually being told. The way it's being painted out, I think it's made to make her seem appealing, but I have questions, a lot of questions, because I don't buy that she's her grandma's main carer. I don't buy that that's where she stays only, given the fact that JJ was saying something about her wanting to have a threesome at the bar on their honeymoon or something. But then anyway, it's just rumors, so hey, it is what it is. So next we have Peggy and George. I don't want to say she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke, because her excitement at seeing his apartment is just, she said, I was thinking that Homestays would either make us or break us. And, this is the first time we've seen her hug George, have her legs all up in George's crotch. She's seen dollar signs, she's seen pound signs, she's seen money. I am not buying it, because the turnaround, she saw his gaming area and she was sort of pointing to where, he's crouched before in his video, and suddenly she's okay with it. And it's like, what did we miss? The tantrum she was throwing, everything she's been saying all along, and suddenly for her to get to his apartment and realize that, oh my God, it's massive, it looks beautiful, it's well kept. And then suddenly she's, I've just said to myself, it's not a part of you, it's part of George, and this could either make us or break us. And yet I'm pleasantly surprised. She's surprised that is actually, I think she thought you had, a laptop in a corner and a little camera and a microphone, and that was it. And so to see it's a setup where he's got a desk, it's actually professionally set up. She's now surprised, and she's realizing that this man might actually have money. He might be good for me. If I'm wrong, but that's the impression that I'm getting, because there's no reason why she would make this sudden turnaround, given how much she was saying she was going to leave last week, and then they spent a couple of days apart, and suddenly everything is forgotten. Okay. Ella's grandma seems sweet, and her advice about sex, it's amazing, but I wish they'd actually spoken about something else. I hate how production is making it seem that all her conversations with people are about sex and nothing but sex, because there should be more to this relationship. I would have expected her to be telling her grandma, with Nathaniel it didn't work out, we struggled on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and yet with JJ, this is what we seem to be good at. Yes, we have our struggles, we haven't had sex, but this is what we're doing. But all we heard was about sex, and it's like, please leave it out, that's enough. So Erica and Jordan meet up with Erica's friends, and at least they were nicer because they were trying to understand the situation. They just didn't take sides without hearing what happened. And I get where Erica's coming from, but also the problem is the person she's dealing with. Be it production or experts, someone is messy, because they took someone who's hypercritical and put her with someone with OCD. And so she is sort of trying to pinpoint what he did, and he is stuck in his way, in the sense that what he thinks is right, and that's what he's going to stick to. And I understand where Erica's coming from, that you haven't apologized to me, you haven't acknowledged my feelings. And he's saying, well, she wants me to acknowledge her feelings and forget about how I feel. There you see the OCD coming into play. And it's like, oh, you wanted to first off blame Laura, or a girl I've had a lot of opinions about. Well, maybe you shouldn't have had opinions about her, and she would have kept her opinions to herself. But because you came in with your opinions, she gave hers, and this is where you are. And yes, it's important to acknowledge how you feel, but at times you have to compromise and put your feelings aside and acknowledge what your wife is saying, because she put her feelings aside and acknowledged what you felt at the moment and decided to forgo an experience to make you feel comfortable. You should do the same. You should apologize. I am sorry for how I made you feel. I'm sorry you missed out on an experience. I'm sorry for not acknowledging your feelings and, sort of offering support to you at a time, you felt unheard. Yes, at the time I was not ready to apologize, but I have since thought about it, and I'm sincerely apologetic. And I want to say I will try and always take your feelings into consideration when I make some decisions. Maybe we should have had a discussion, but at the time, all I could think of was my safety and my security and what mattered to me. In that moment, I didn't think about you sort of missing out on an experience of having a trial marriage with somebody different. That's all he should have said. I don't know why he couldn't. But then he's got, this condition, so it is what it is. Day 2, it's sweet. It's Thomas making pancakes for Ross, and Ross sitting in the garden with the pigtails, waiting on Thomas to bring the breakfast. That was cute. Ella and JJ walk her dog, and it's like, oh, okay. At least they're doing something. They're not talking about sex. And then we have Erica and Jordan have, time with her grandparents. And you can see that things are not right. this is going to be a hot mess. Erica needs to be more patient when dealing with Jordan. Otherwise, she's not going to get anywhere. She's not always going to get her own way. He reminds me of, I don't know whether you've watched The Good Doctor, Sean, but Sean the character is autistic and is so set in his ways. He wants to do things a certain way. And Jordan sort of reminds me in that sense. I know he doesn't have autism. I'm not saying he's autistic, but the fact that he's so fixed in this idea of, we had this argument because she said this and I said that, and this is how we resolve it. That is his problem. Having opinions is his problem, because once he establishes an opinion, it's very difficult to convince him otherwise. And I like that her grandma was able to give her advice to say, try and look at the good and not always focus on the bad. I think they need to find a way to work on their communication. They should have done this all the time. They were saying to the experts, we're amazing, we're amazing. They didn't work on it because they were focused somewhere, and this is why they're struggling to communicate to each other how they feel. Yes, I know there is the barrier of the OCD and Jordan, who seems fixated on whatever he decides to do or whatever he feels is correct or whatever he feels he needs to say. And so I really don't know how they're going to navigate this marriage. It's going to be a struggle for Erica. It's going to be a struggle. And surprisingly, apparently, George and Peggy took a couple of steps forward in the intimacy department. What's changed? Please let me know in the comment section, because I am still going to say that Kanye West song that's she ain't messing with no broke, because why is it getting to his apartment has suddenly led her to do whatever they've done? Why have they moved a step forward just after a couple of hours in his place? Make that make sense. Unless she was worried that the other, participants would hear them in their apartments, but still, make it make sense. If Peggy doesn't stop talking about gaming, or if she doesn't stop about these hypothetical situations, oh my God, it's driving me up the bend now. Because she then has a conversation with George and sort of asks him, what are your priorities? She's not yet a permanent fixture in his life. So she shouldn't be one of his top priorities. Yes, now he did add her to his priority list, but he counted what at the moment, or before he entered the experiment, what was his priority. I think gaming for him, the way I see it, is a social activity, and not only that, it's a second job, if you get what I mean, in the sense that, he draws income from this thing. So for her to say, oh, well, what if my sister invites me with my mom and says we want to go out on a Friday? He told her the days that he does his gaming, oh, what would you do? And he said, well, I don't want to let people down, so I would probably refuse to go out. And she's now upset about that. And it's like, make it make sense. If he says, yes, I would come with you, then you're going to say you're not consistent, you're not structured. He can never win. She always puts him in these hypothetical situations whereby whatever he says, he's never going to win. And I don't know why he's got so much vim for Portia and Tasha, and yet he doesn't have any vim for Peggy. Peggy says whatever she wants and he just cows down like a little boy. You should tell her, I'm sorry, I think we're not working. Let's leave it. It's not worth the sex. It's not worth the lingerie. It's not worth anything for his mental well-being as far as I'm concerned. Oh, my little heart can't take Tom and Ross. Oh my God. They're just so cute. And I'm so happy that I was emotionally invested in them from the start. I hope they're still together, because I would be heartbroken. But you get to see Thomas's mom meet Thomas and Ross after a while, because at the beginning of the show, it was made to seem like his mom was very cold and she didn't care about him, and she was always very, abrupt and, rude with him. And yet, to see how caring she comes across, to see them sit down and to see her, have sort of heart eyes watching her son and Ross interact. She even mentioned that at the wedding, you all look like deer, like deers in headlights. But now the two of you are so, connected. You keep looking at each other's eyes. You seem so happy. In a confessional, she said Thomas looks like a different man, which we've all noticed that he is a different man. She said she's happy for them. She wants them to really work out. I think she's realized that she's actually said Ross is a good thing for Tom and this is what he needed. And then she asked what's next and Tom went, babies and babies and babies. And Ross is like, what the hell? We didn't discuss this. I think they would make an amazing couple. I think they would make an amazing couple because they feed off each other. They get each other's humor. They are accepting of constructive feedback. They're willing to take advice. They'll sift through it, take what they feel is appropriate and work on it. So you can't ask for anything better. I really hope they work out long term. I really hope they are one of the success stories from Mavs UK. If you hear hands clapping, then know that it's me standing up and cheering for Arthur, because it's about time he grew some cojones and he told these girls how he felt, because every single time they've had an opinion, every single time they've been judgmental, and he has held his tongue and he's bit his tongue and he's bit his tongue until he's had enough. I am here, whether he sounded rude or he sounded aggressive or he sounded confrontational, for them to suddenly realize that after he's told them off and they say, oh, we're your family, would you speak to his family? Well, his family wouldn't speak to you the way you spoke to him. You never had anything positive to say about Arthur. And the audacity, I know as a family member, you want what's best for your family member, but the audacity to criticize Arthur when you've been with Laura all this time and you haven't been able to help her find a partner. Now she's find someone who likes her and who cares for her. You think he's not good enough because he's not Chelsea, he's not polished, he doesn't have an accent, he doesn't. No, you get what you dish, so take it and leave it. Whether or not he was rude or disrespectful, ask yourself, what did you say that provoked that reaction from him? Because all the other times he's kept quiet. He hasn't said anything. And he's right to say, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress Laura because she's the person I'm going to live with. Your opinion doesn't carry any water with me because we don't have a relationship. We don't have that kind of understanding whereby I would value whatever you say to me, because every time it's always come to me as an attack. It's not about being a strong, confident woman, independent. No, people have to sort of take that away and sort of look at people for who they are. You can't have someone be derogatory, be disrespectful, be confrontational, and then when they get that back, they suddenly, oh, I don't like him, he's this, that. Well, you dished it out, so be prepared to receive it. Oh my God, I'm so emotional. I'm so sorry about my rant, but it's unacceptable, and I'm happy he told them what he told them, and I wish he had said that sooner rather than later. They would have learned to mind their business. At times you have to be careful with these friends because some of them have your best intentions at heart and some of them don't, and these don't seem like the type of friends that have Laura's best interest at heart. I'm sorry. Laura has to make a decision on whether she wants a husband or whether she wants friends. Which is it? Because for her friends not to acknowledge Arthur's feelings, because he told them, every time I've seen you, you've always been on an attack, and I've always felt like I have to sort of be defending myself every single time. And so I was ready today, sadly. Oh, do you not care about how we feel? Well, why should he care, really? Why should he care? His priority is Laura. Because if you are happy with him and Laura doesn't like him, then he's out the door. If Laura likes him and you don't, then you're out the door. So either way, he has to prioritize the person he's going to live with, the person he's going to, have a future with. Besides, you asked him, what are your plans after you leave the experiment? He took it as literally the day they say the experiment is over, where are you going? And he said, I'm going to my parents' house and then I'm going to get myself a place to stay. That's the impression that he got. He didn't think that they're talking about maybe 5 years down the line or, a year from now. They didn't give him clarity in their question. And yet suddenly, oh, with the way he spoke to us, we don't think he's the guy for Laura. Well, the door's open, don't let it hit you on your way out. Oh God, I got so infuriated. And then Peggy, I'm not a mental health practitioner. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't diagnose Peggy, but Peggy is getting on my last nerve. Because she asks these questions, she creates this hypothetical situation, and she expects to hear the answer that she wants to hear. If she doesn't hear that answer, she throws a fit, and then poor George has to scurry around behind her and find out and sort of ask himself, what does she want to hear? Eventually grasp what she wants to hear, go and parrot it, and then she's happy. Make that make sense? I don't get that relationship. They need to stop playing games. They were told to stop playing games, and they need to stop playing games. Jordan takes Ella to Essex. It's quite a cute house. It's quite a cute place to stay. So Ella's impressed. She's impressed. She's wanting to watch what she says. She's wanting to watch how she behaves. So I think she can see herself in this amazing little house. We'll see how that plays out. And then you have Jordan and Erica go to, they're going to see his mum, and hopefully she can shine some light on Jordan and how he behaves. Ella and JJ got to go and meet JJ's friend. And for me, hearing the conversation between JJ and his friend, raises a lot of red flags, and it sort of confirms some of the things that Nathaniel has been saying online, because apparently she got drunk and she said a lot of things and she did a lot of things that he didn't like. And I remember Nathaniel somewhere, I think I heard somewhere or I read somewhere that he said on their honeymoon, Ella got so drunk and started calling people and asking them to go for a threesome. And for me, my thing is to Ella, do you want a relationship, or do you want to enjoy life, drink, party, and be all wild? Because if you want a relationship, and if you know that this is what happens to you when you're intoxicated, maybe it's worth you stopping the drinking. Maybe it's worth you focusing on your relationship and leaving the alcohol alone, because it seems every time she's drunk, she gets up to no good, and she might end up losing JJ, because JJ seems to think there is a possibility that they might have a future together. But we'll see how it plays out. I am nervous given the fact that someone has already said the same thing about Ella when she's drunk. So I don't know. We'll see. I think Homestays could be the thing that saves Jordan and Erica, because her grandmother was able to give very constructive feedback, and sitting down with Jordan's mom and Erica sort of expressing herself and hearing Jordan's mom sort of reinforce what she was saying and sort of try to explain to Jordan what Erica's trying to say in a way that he understands, was very good for their relationship, in my opinion. Will he take it on board? I don't know. She has made suggestions. The mother has made very good feedback and very good suggestions. It's now up to him. I think he needs to get help. He says he has never received any help from anyone. I think he needs to receive help, because he's got these blinders on whereby things should go his way, and he's losing focus that in order to be in a relationship, you need to sort of take your partner's needs into consideration as well. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the part 2, although they've already shown us a clip of Tasha kicking off, and I don't know why they really enjoy doing this, but hey, it is what it is. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 27. Bye guys.